Hello and welcome back to The Good News.
I'm Doc.
And I'm TJ, and we are excited and delighted that you have tuned in for another episode of The Good News. And there is plenty good news today. We always start out with a question before we go over this Sunday sermon. And since it's Black History Month, we decided...
Who's your daddy? Oh, that ain't what you said?
That isn't... We're not there yet.
Oh, okay.
So since it's Black History Month, we did decide to highlight someone from Black history each and every week. How many weeks we get? We only get 4. We don't get a 5th Sunday.
Yeah. Well, we're gonna make up a Sunday if we need to. Just take one from March.
And so today we are starting out, ladies first, with Mary McLeod Bethune.
BCU in the house.
Amen.
Who was Cookman?
Teach me.
So Mary McLeod Bethune.
You are a history buff.
Well, you know, it was interesting because she was one of the ones that you talk about a lot when we was in elementary school. She was one of those staples that whenever Black history programs came up, Black history moments came up, she was almost like her and Ida B. Wells and some of those were like staples. So she was the one that we talk about a lot. But she was an educator, and we know now the school Bethune-Cookman University was founded by her as Bethune-Cookman. It used to be Bethune-Cookman College when I was in school. I'm dating myself, I'm sure, but it was Bethune-Cookman College when I was in school. But she was an educator and just had such a love and passion for teaching and educating our young kids. And what grew out of a passion, she was better on purpose because now we know Bethune-Cookman University. And because of that school located in Daytona Beach, Florida, my affiliation with them is as a spectator of band connoisseurs.
I knew we were getting there.
They had one of the best marching bands in the country behind Morris Brown. I give them 2A and 2B with Jackson State University.
And you know what's so interesting about Mary McLeod Bethune and others like her, those who we celebrate and herald during African American Black History Month, is that they were all walking in their purpose.
Yeah.
Not that it was easy, not that it was a path they would have chosen, but that they decided to, and that they followed the Lord. And you know, the Christian faith is so strong in the African American, it's so much a part of the African American history.
Yeah. And you know, we used to have this phrase, lest we forget.
Yes.
We don't want to forget all the sacrifices that our foreparents have made for us. You know, we look at them now as history makers, but I'm pretty sure just like us, they didn't feel like history makers when they were going through it.
Yeah.
And, you know, a lot of our history makers came out of history necessity. It was needed.
Really?
You know, we didn't want to have our own school. We wanted to go to school with everybody else. We didn't want to have to live in our own community by ourselves. We wanted to be able to be like Dr. Martin Luther King said, let us all live together, let us come together and all that. But we have to do things, and usually it's out of necessity.
And I just love so often that our messages just really are in theme with whatever it is that we're talking about. And it just shows the power and the versatility of God's word. And so you came this morning from Genesis, the first chapter, here on the first Sunday of African American History Month, where we are celebrating those whose shoulders we stand on. And you came talking about that verse, and it's one of my favorite verses from Genesis. My favorite verse is Genesis 1:26 and Genesis 50. What's that one? Is it 26 too?
I think it is. Joseph.
What you meant for evil, God worked it out for my good. And so you came from this verse where it tells us that we are created, male and female, in the image of God. And these people on whose shoulders we stand, we would like to be able to portray those images, to be a force in our neighborhoods and in our communities and in the upbringing of our children, that we can still impact, that we can still tell them that things are a certain way because we have allowed them to be that way, not because we can't change them. Once we get together and move in the same direction in the image of God, who gave us dominion and authority over everything that creeps on the earth, that we can be history makers, change makers, change agents.
And who we are a lot of time is based off of whose we are. And like my message today, I talked about, well, the title of it was having the name, image, and likeness of God. And that was based off of this week. Most of y'all know already, I'm a big football fan, in particular NFL, well, football fan, but I love college football, NCAA. And this week we had what's called National Signing Day.
Yes.
And the big thing now in recruiting, well, the big thing in recruiting used to be come and see our great facilities. We produce champions here. We always chasing the championships. We have great stuff on the campus and everything. And now, if you ain't speaking name, image, and likeness, chances are you're not getting the top recruits coming out of school now, because everybody's trying to get paid off of name, image, and likeness. So it just got me to thinking about what's our real name, image, and likeness, as opposed to getting paid off of it commercially. And it just took me back to the book of Genesis, where God told us we were created after his own image and likeness. He said, let us create humankind, mankind, womankind, after our image.
Yes.
And I just started thinking about that, and I'm like, who are we in God? How many people see us imitating God? How many people see us being loving, kind, and showing grace and all this stuff? And I just started thinking about all the imitation that we used to do growing up and we do now. And one of my favorite imitations that I used to like to do, there were two I used to love to imitate, Reverend C.S. Sir, my pastor at Pleasant Hill Missionary Baptist Church, 745 Bolton Road, Northwest Atlanta, Georgia, 30331.
No more, but okay.
I know, but anyway, that's where it was when I grew up. But I used to love imitating James Brown as a kid. And I remember James Brown, whenever he would come on TV, I would run in the house and I would go and grab me a towel and put a towel over my shoulder. You know how I used to wear the cape?
Yeah.
And I used to do the little James Brown, walk on the stage and all that stuff, and I would grab a broom.
I just knew you were going to say you did the slide and the dance.
I did that too. But you had to have the cape on first. You had to do the walk. Basically, you had to bring the cape first. And so I had the towel, bring the towel, put the towel on, do all that stuff. And I didn't have an audience or nothing like that. I think every now and then my great-grandparents probably saw me or something. But I used to just love to imitate James Brown.
One of the things I was thinking about is you were talking about the NILs, the name, image, and likeness, and how you used to love NCAA football games on Xbox, PlayStation, whichever one you had at the time. And you knew the player you were playing because they played like that player on the field. And so I'm wondering, if we are in the name, image, and likeness of God, what's our play? What's our move that people know that we are
like God? I think you have to have traits of your father. And a lot of times you might not always look like him, but maybe you act like him. Maybe you show love, that you love so much so that you're willing to give your all to whoever might need it. Maybe you might be one to just give power to people when they're weak.
That's it.
Or something like that.
I would love to think that mine is prayer, like Jesus. I know that sometimes you have to steal away, and it wasn't something that he just did in times of trouble. He did it at all times. He just would steal away.
I think with me, man, is encouragement.
Yes, it is.
And I know it without a shadow of a doubt. I love to make people feel as though they can do whatever task is at hand. And so much so, it depends on the situation and who it is. I'm willing to be with them through the process. And and that's biblical. Jesus said, I'll be with you always, even to the end of the age, even to the end of the earth or the time, whatever Bible translation you're reading. But I love being with people going through whatever they're going through, not necessarily going through pain and stuff like that, but going through it with them so they feel like they're not alone.
That's it.
I like to encourage people. You might be looking for a job. I'll let you know if I've heard somebody looking for a job. I'll help you with resumes. If you can't get somewhere, if opportunity presents itself, I might be willing to take you to the job interview. This interview, I used to grow up, I liked coaching Little League. I liked teaching when I was teaching. So encouragement has always been a part of who I was. I did an interview that's getting ready to be released soon with one of my classmates, Simone Williams. And I had no idea. She talked about how encouraging I was in high school and everything, in the band. And I'm like, who knew that? So, I just didn't know that was a part of it back then, but there are people who remember stuff like that. So
Mm-hmm.
it's something that's a part of who I am. Encouragement is a part of me. And like you said, praying for people is part of your, we all have some attributes of our daddy God.
Yeah.
And we have to live in that name, image and likeness of God.
You know, one of the things you said in your message was that some things will obscure our true image.
Yeah.
And you went on to talk some about celebrity and how they will build a persona around. So we don't even know their real image. All we know is what the public relations people have set for us to see and to know. And we have that ourselves, our own public relations, whether we know it or pay attention to it or use it as we should. I mean, everything that we put out, every word that we say is projecting an image.
It does. And, you know, even from the things that we put on our bodies, what we wear, you know, for a long time, you know, I would never wear certain brands. You know, I was always been loyal to whatever brand I would wear. I don't believe in just stepping out the house looking any kind of way. You know, it used to be my hair used to have to be neat, but
you're like a Nielsen family. You loyal to a brand.
Yeah, I am. But above all, I'm loyal to the brand.
Yeah,
God.
Yeah,
But I used to have this image. I used to have to make sure my clothes were presentable. You know, I just didn't step out the house no any kind of way. Even when it comes to stepping out cutting grass, I had to make sure I had on nice looking stuff. So, cause you never know who go drive by your house. You know, and you don't want nobody to drive by and say, man, I saw that just looked like a bomb out there. You know, even though I was cutting grass. So
it could be the Google card that's coming around taking the
take
street
the
level.
picture. Yeah. So, you know, my whole thing is name, image, and likeness have always been important to me. So much so, people don't realize how many edits I go through when I put things out sometimes, you know, because you don't want to portray the wrong image. If I misspell somebody's name, I want to correct it. If I mispronounce it, I want to correct it. So, you know, name, image, and likeness is important. But as a child of God, as a Christian, up under the banner of the flag of Jesus Christ. My name, image, and likeness is so important. That's why when people, if you see me out in public, chances are you're going to see me out trying to have a good time with someone, trying to be able to encourage someone, or just be, because you never know how people see you and you've been represented. You ain't going to see me out sloppy drunk. You ain't going to see me out, you know, now you might see me out, you know, getting mad at for poor customer service every now and then. Every now and then, you know, you might see me speaking to a wait person, encouraging them to be better on purpose. You might see me standing in line at Kroger Publix, encouraging the cashier to be better on purpose by punching, scanning this stuff a little faster or something. But, you know, but in reality, I always want to feel like I want to represent God in everything I do. Because the name, image, and likeness is so important.
And that's really the beginning, because you talk some in your message about being imitators of Christ. And we have to start somewhere. And so much so, we would rather be like Mike than like God. We want everybody to see our jump shot with our tongue hanging out, but we don't show people that we read God's word, that we pray, and that we worship, and that the music that we listen to edifies God. And so those things need to be a part of the image that people see as well.
And what's funny to me too is when people see you and they say, you know, you look like that lady who just died. Let me go and get her funeral program.
I always look like somebody that just died.
But you know, I'm amazed how a lot of times people say we look like somebody who we don't feel we look nothing like. And when was the last time somebody said that you look like somebody that you didn't look like? I remember one time we was coming from the mall and a guy stopped his car and thought I was Russell Simmons because I had on the baseball cap. I guess I had a little funny looking face or head, something like that, like Russell Simmons. But that wasn't the first time that I've been stopped asking, you know, people thinking I'm Russell Simmons based off a baseball cap. When I don't have on a baseball cap, I look like somebody else. You know, you get recognized for Taraji P. Henson all the time, and people will stop and look at you and come, and you know, it's just amazing how our image provokes things out of people. But yes, I might look like somebody here. I might look like my daddy's brother, something like that. But I really want to portray the name, image, and likeness of God even in the midst of my faultiness, in the midst of my mistakes, in the midst of my error, hopefully you can see past that and see the name, image, and likeness of God. And that's what we all want for everybody else. We know we all gonna make mistakes. We know we all gonna come short of the glory of God. But at the end of the day, can I see the name, image, and likeness of God in you?
And that starts with us knowing him.
Yeah.
That we know the characteristics of God, that God doesn't change, that God doesn't lie, that God is not like us, that he doesn't pick from what he sees, he judges from the heart. So when we know those things and we are doing those things, then it's more likely that we will be looking like our God.
You know, back in the day, what still happen now, you know how when somebody famous start wearing a certain hairstyle, then everybody just want to wear that hairstyle so they can get some of the benefits of that person who started it. Why not just go to God and be like God and get the benefits that God has for us?
Yeah. Well, I obviously look like a giver.
Yeah. I don't know what I look like. I think I look like I'm easily swayed. I think some people think that, you know, I would just give in to certain things so easily without knowing how complex I am. Well, I don't know what people think when they see me sometimes. I know when people get to know me, they always say, oh, he's an analyzer. He thinks a lot. He's able to do a lot because he go think things through clearly first and stuff like that. So I don't know.
And you know, I wish I could give my joy because that's what people see. They see the joy of Jesus that I allow to rule.
We don't want the joy. We just want the money because you look like money.
They assume that that joy comes from having a lot. So they ask for cash instead of the joy of Jesus.
They don't want your joy. They want your cash.
And I hope that each and every time you tune in here at the Good News that you get some joy of Jesus. That something that we say or do reminds you that we serve a God who is able to do exceedingly abundantly above all that we could think, ask, or even imagine. And some of us got some creative imaginations.
Oh, yeah.
But God is better even than that. So we do want to thank you for tuning in with us, for allowing us to speak into your life and to share this time with you and to invite you into our worship. Pastor, as he posts this video, he will surely link to the sermon message so you can hear it in its entirety.
Well,
that's all we got.
Shout out to all those who are watching the Good News and those who are encouraging their family and friends to watch as well.
Yes. All right. So you all have a great week until we are together again.
Good day and good night.